What's going on, y'all? Georgia Tech Pain account here. Luke Howard checking in. Decided not to put the score up today because none of us want to see that. I'm just going to talk briefly my thoughts. And I think that we are all in the same boat here. So I was at the game on Saturday. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. We got outgained by about 350 yards. Our offense put up, I believe, just over 200 yards, if that. And Ole Miss had over 500 yards of offense. Their defense got 7 sacks on Jeff Sims. Both of their running backs went off. I think both of them had 80-plus yards. Jackson Dart is not that good of a quarterback, but he looked like a professional out there against our defense. And everything all around just looked bad. And I kind of knew that the game was over when the entire stadium was booing Jeff Collins and the team going into the locker room. And yeah, it's not good. So let me give you my thoughts. I have been holding out hope for Jeff Collins. I've never been a Jeff Collins supporter. I've never been someone who thought that he was a good coach, but I've been someone who's been pulling for this program and honestly pulling for Jeff Collins as well. You know, I wanted him to win. I wanted him to find a way to get us to a bowl game. I wanted him to turn the program around because he's our coach and I'm going to support him. But Saturday, I think for me, as well as all the other fans that I interacted with on Twitter, was the last straw. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Watching that in person was, I'm sure, worse than watching it on television. It was awful. We looked like a peewee football team out there. And to be quite frank with you, I'm sick of Georgia Tech football being like this. And I think it's time for Collins to go. This team has not shown improvement. The defense has been ranked in the 100s for the past 4 years. Offense has not shown great improvement. Collins had us believe that hiring Chris Winkie, Chip Long, Jason Seymour, linebackers coach, Jen Chaney, offensive analyst, all these new pieces that were coming into the program, he had us believe that this was really going to be the season. And I think this season was do or die for him. Now, with that being said, playing devil's advocate, we're going into week 4. We're 1-2. A lot of teams are 1-2 right now. But I think the fan base, I think before this week, about half of them wanted him fired. And I think now we're sitting at about 95, maybe more of that percent want to see him gone. And from what I've been hearing, it's not a matter of if, but when. So he will be gone, and Chip Long will probably assume head coaching duties until the offseason. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what one would hope for as a fan, I think. But that's how it is. This program, it's embarrassing to be a fan of this program right now. It's embarrassing to interact with other fans, like interacting with the Ole Miss fans on Saturday. It's just embarrassing. It doesn't even look like we fielded a team out there, to be honest with you. And it's very frustrating. And Collins has run his course. He's run his experiment. He made us look like a bunch of goofballs, marketing the 404 and the ATL, 404 the culture, all this crap that he put out there. And I was fine with that as long as we turn that into wins. Because if you market that stuff and you turn it into wins, it's one thing. You can garner respect from the nation. But if you market all that, you put all that out there like he did, and then you go 3-9, 3-9, 3-7, 3-9, and now we're 1-2, probably destined. I don't see a second win on our schedule. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't. I wouldn't be shocked, especially if Collins stays coach for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be shocked if we go 1-11 this year. 2-10 at the best scenario, I think, if he stays at the helm for the rest of the year. So you have those 4 records, and you can't be running around saying 404 the culture, 5-star developmental program. Like, these players aren't getting developed. We're not sending guys to the NFL. We're not getting any better. And this program is a sorry excuse for a Power 5 historic program. I saw a stat that a lot of you probably saw. Before Jeff Collins got to Georgia Tech, we had 283 consecutive football games where we were never shut out. Jeff Collins coached his 28th game on Saturday, and we were shut out, making it the 4th time in 28 games that we've been shut out. Not to mention twice at home. There's no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse for that. I think that this program was not exactly at the top of the college football world when he took over, but it was not at the bottom at all. And we are firmly at the bottom now. And it's frustrating. It is. But, the solution is he's got to go. And my personal opinion, a lot of people have mixed opinions on this, but I think Todd has to go as well. Todd Stansbury, athletic director, he's got to go. He hasn't shown me anything outside of football, and this is a football podcast, so we'll keep it at that. But, signing him to a 7-year contract was a boneheaded move, in my opinion. He's got to go too. And he rode with Collins. He died on the Collins Hill. He said, "This is my man. This is your man. Then you've got to leave too." Now, as Georgia Tech fans, we will have to accept another 3 or 4 year rebuild, depending on who we hire. But that's something that we have to be patient with and accept, because that's how it is. He has run our program into the ground, and I'm not having it anymore. And I don't think any Georgia Tech fans are having it anymore either, because we're sick of being at the bottom of the ACC when we have the 5th best talent in the ACC, according to 24/7 Sports. And we're turning that into what? 42-0 at home to an Ole Miss team that probably should have beat us. I'm not saying that we should have won that game. Did I predict that we win that game? Yeah, because I had confidence. I had hope, like any fan would. But 42-0, and it looked like at most times they weren't even trying out there. We have more talent than that. These guys aren't getting coached. I saw a video that I retweeted on my Twitter that a lot of you may have seen. It was midway through the 3rd quarter. I think it might have been early 4th quarter. I think Ole Miss just scored their 5th touchdown, make it 35-0. Defense is on the bench on the sideline. They just came off. Coach Thacker is sitting there in his chair feeling sorry for himself. He's not talking to anybody. He's looking at the ground. The defensive players are looking there, staring off into space. And eventually you see in the left-hand corner of the video, Charlie Thomas is on the end of the bench. He gets up and leaves. Not leaves the stadium or leaves the sideline, but just walks away from the situation. He doesn't get coached. Coach Thacker's not talking to his players. Like, hey, we're down 35-0. Maybe say something. Maybe try to make some adjustments. I don't know. Coach the game until the game is finished. But don't just sit there and accept the fact that we're going to get shellacked at home. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of it. The Georgia Tech fan base is sick of it. And the video was frankly, it tells a lot of where our program is right now. These guys, Collins and everyone he brought with him, Pat Note, he's gone, but Thacker, all these other guys that Pat Note brought with, or that Collins brought with him, were not ready to coach at the Power 5 level. And that's just how it is. We have to accept that. They have to go. Stansbury has to go. We have to clean house. We have to start over. And Georgia Tech has to get back to what I know Georgia Tech can be. We have the winningest stadium in college football. We have 4 national titles. I'm 22 years old, and I have seen us go to the ACC championship 3 times in my life. A lot of teams in the ACC can't say that, or they can say, I've seen my team go once. I've been all 3 times. We are a good program who has a lot of potential in a city with the most recruits out of any other area in the country. There is no excuse why Georgia Tech football should not be, not saying at the top we shouldn't be competing for national championships every year, but we should be ranked every single year, or at least in the conversation to be ranked. We should garner respect from the country instead of being the laughingstock of college football. I'll tell you that right now. And it's embarrassing being a Georgia Tech fan right now. Collins has to go. I've seen enough. The fan base has seen enough, and it's time to make a change. As far as potential replacements, personally, I would love to see Deion Sanders come in. I don't think that that is very realistic, being honest with you. Um, I'm hearing a lot of how he may go to Arizona State, which I could see. So we may not get him. But, there's other names out there. The Coastal Carolina coach, Billy O'Brien, offensive coordinator at Alabama. He's been at Georgia Tech before. There's plenty of names. I mean, to be honest with you, my grandmother could coach this team better than Jeff Collins is coaching it right now. So I think we can only go up from here. I think that we have to endure possibly a couple more weeks of Jeff Collins. I think it's pretty frustrating that we do. I think we're going to have to watch our team go down to UCF and get murdered. But this is what happens when you change coaches, it is what it is. We fans have to stick together, support those players. I'll tell you that. Don't ever, I haven't seen it yet, but don't ever trash players on Twitter or any social media. Being a former player myself, I've had my share of coaches who weren't necessarily great coaches. And the players are doing everything they can. They're doing what they're told, and they're trying, and they love this school. They love this program. So trashing them is not going to help anything except probably make them transfer, which they may already anyway. But we have to make a change. This has to end. My prediction is that Collins will go down to UCF. We'll lose there, and then in the bye week, I think that he'll be gone. That's my prediction. I don't know I think the bye week is after Duke, maybe. So I think that if he's not gone after UCF, then he'll coach the Duke game, and during the bye week he'll be gone. Hopefully before that, but he's got to go. Talking a little bit about his buyout before I end this. Right now it is $10.1 million. If we wait to the end of the year, it will be $7 million. There's a lot of different opinions on whether we should fire him now or just ride the rest of the season out. Is the season probably in the dumpster already? Yes. It doesn't matter who we promote to interim head coach. We're not making a bowl game this year. If you thought that we could make a bowl game this year, bring your hopes down. There's no way. The fan base has turned, including myself, has turned on the program for right now. And a program like that is not going to make a bowl game. We don't have the coaching. We don't have the talent right now. So do we keep Jeff Collins for the rest of the year, wait for his buyout to go down $3 million, and then maybe have enough money or have some extra money to afford a different head coach? Maybe. Do we fire him now and actually listen to the fan base for once? Because everyone wants him gone today. People want him gone yesterday. People wanted him gone in 2021. So the Georgia Tech Athletic Association has to make a decision whether they want to keep him for the rest of the year and save money, or if they want to listen to the fan base and fire him now. And that's an important decision, and I can see both sides of it. But we're going to see one of those two options. But like I said, from everything I've been reading, everything I've been hearing in the program, it's not a matter of if he's gone. I think after that game on Saturday, it's definitely a matter of when. So not going to really dive into post-game thoughts. There's really nothing to say. It was horrible to watch. Another blocked punt. That was fantastic. But go down to UCF Saturday, 4 p.m. On ESPNU. We're going to be on national television again. Let's all just at this point cross our fingers and hope that we don't get embarrassed again on national television. It sucks that they keep putting us on national television because we are not in a good position right now to be on national television. But let's hope we can at least put up a fight. I don't think we're going to win. I think final score will be 41-17 UCF is my prediction. I'll be shocked if we put up 17 points. But I'm predicting maybe some garbage time touchdowns, maybe. But yeah, that's my score prediction for the UCF game. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm fed up. I am, and I will never stop being a fan. I will never stop supporting this program. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm going to the Duke game. I'm going to the Miami game, which are two of the few home games we have left. I'm going to be there. Um, it's not like I'm done supporting this program. It's just that I'm frustrated and it's time for a change. And if you don't go to the games, I understand. I'm not going to lie to you. I understand because this has to change. And I think that the Athletic Association, the AD, need to be sent a message saying, we as a fan base, we're not having it anymore. It's year 4. This was the year. If last year wasn't the year, this was the year. And I haven't seen anything. I've seen us get worse on offense and just as bad on defense. So those are my thoughts. I know this video isn't exactly probably what the fan base wanted to hear, but I'm just giving you my thoughts. But I think as long as we stick together, we're all Georgia Tech fans. We all bleed white and gold, and there are better days ahead. This is the darkest that Georgia Tech football has been probably since the Bill Lewis era. Maybe it may be even darker now than it was then. So we can only go up from here, to be honest with you. And I'm going to ride along. I'll always be on Twitter. I'll always be interacting with the rest of the fan base. I'll always be cracking jokes. I'll always be talking trash to other fan bases. And I'll just be enjoying the college football landscape. So yeah, hit me up, interact with me. We'll get through this together. Every program goes through this, believe it or not. Everyone's been through this at some point. It just sucks that we have to experience it now. But there are better days ahead for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And I believe that, and I think all of you should believe that as well. So Georgia Tech Paint account, Luke Howard signing off. At Burner Sims, hit me up on Twitter. Interact with me. Let me know your thoughts on the video. And let me know your thoughts on next head coaches, when we should fire Jeff Collins, if we should make any changes at any positions. Yeah, let me know. Hit me up. But that's about it for me, guys. Have a good rest of your week, and go Jackets, and to hell with Georgia, as always.